Chapter 73. The Angel's Pudding. A main to viewers, camera angle. A top-down shot of a glass dish, scraped so clean it practically sparkles under the kitchen light. Most modern puddings are obsessed with that melt-in-your-mouth creaminess. They're fine, I guess, but if you ask me, I want a pudding that fights back. I want it firm, packed with eggs, and strong enough to hold its shape when you scoop it. A main to viewers, leaning back with a long, satisfied sigh. Mahiru actually did it. She made a custard so rich and a caramel so perfectly bitter that it cut right through the sweetness. I'm not even a sweets guy, but I just polished off 2 servings in a blink. Honestly, if she offered a third, my stomach would find room. It's dangerous. The master of everything. Whoa! That was incredible, I said, finally putting the spoon down with a clink. Thank you for the compliment, Mahiru replied, her voice soft but steady as she watched me eat. It is my honor. Seriously, you can do anything, can't you? It's like you have a cheat code for life. I was simply taught everything, she said, though her tone lacked any pride. To her, being a master of home economics was just another chore on her perfect daughter checklist. A main to viewers, to the camera, she doesn't get it. She thinks she's just fulfilling an obligation. But for me, this is the highlight of my day. Seriously, thanks to you, I'm really blessed. I get to eat food this good every single day. It's basically my daily salvation. The husband and wife theory. Mahiru's face turned a light shade of pink, and she instinctively pulled her shoulders in, trying to make herself smaller. I see. I am happy to be praised by you, Amain-kun. I'll praise you as much as you want, I said earnestly, leaning forward. If my current praise isn't enough, I can go into detail. I can break down the texture, the egg-to-cream ratio, the temperature of the caramel. And no need for that. I may die, she squeaked, her hands flying up to cover her cheeks. You're over-exaggerating. I am not over-exaggerating. This much is already enough. The idiot incident. All right. I laughed, feeling a warmth in my chest that had nothing to do with the pudding. But really thanks. For the dessert and for everything up until now. I'd be a total wreck, a rotten man, as you say, if it weren't for you. I gave her my most grateful, sincere smile, the kind of look you give someone you want to stay beside you forever. Mahiru froze. She actually started vibrating like a smartphone on silent mode. Then, she stood up abruptly, her chair screeching against the floor, and grabbed the empty plates with trembling hands. Amain-kun no baka, Amain, you idiot, she muttered in a voice that was far too cute to be an actual insult. The kitchen retreat. I followed her, confused. Hey, wait. You don't have to cover my dish duty. I reached out and caught her elbow to stop her at the sink. She spun around, and I nearly tripped backward. Her face wasn't just pink. It was a full-blown, deep-sea crimson. Her eyes were shimmering, looking at me with a mix of panic and something else I couldn't quite name. I'll handle these. Go. Wait for me at the sofa. Okay. She practically shoved me out of the kitchen with surprising strength. I managed to reach out and give her a quick, panicked head pat before she fled the room entirely, burying herself into the sofa cushions like she was trying to hide from the atmosphere itself. Amain to viewers, standing at the sink, running cold water over his hands until they go numb. I don't get it. I was just being polite. I was being honest. Why is she acting like I just dropped a bombshell on her? Amain splashes cold water on his face to cool down his own rising heat. Vlog status. * pudding. October 10th. Communication. Error 404. Mahiru's baka counter. +1. Next step. I guess I'll go to the sofa and try to figure out what I did wrong. Or right. Chapter 74. The Angel's Determination. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is standing in the school corridor, looking slightly overwhelmed as a very tall, very handsome guy with a golden retriever energy hangs an arm around his shoulder. So, things are changing. It's noon break and usually it's just me and Itsuki. But lately Katawaki, the prince, has decided I'm his new best friend. The golden retriever prince. Itsuki, Fujimiya. Let's eat, Katawaki announced, flashing a smile that could probably power a small city. You're emotionally attached to him or something, Yuta? Itsuki teased, looking at Katawaki's hand on my shoulder. You're like a dog. Once you trust someone, you start wagging your tail. You're a total golden retriever. Don't call me a dog so openly, Katawaki retorted, though he was pouting rather than actually being mad. Amain to viewers, to the camera. I couldn't help it. I started laughing. He really is a golden retriever. But I had to ask, is it really okay for you to be seen with a guy like me? There's no benefit for you. You're the prince. I'm just a guy. Katawaki stopped smiling for a second and looked me dead in the eye. Do you weigh pros and cons when you make friends, Fujimiya? No. Then it's fine, isn't it? I'm talking to you because I want to get along. The Angel's Declaration. Amain to viewers, scene jump. Back at the apartment. Dinner is over. The atmosphere is quiet, but Mahiru looks intense, like she's preparing for a final exam. I have decided, Mahiru said suddenly. Decided what? I blinked. I have had enough. I am done. Okay? I mean, if you've been enduring something, it's fine to stop. Do you want to talk about it? I want to get along with you at school, Amain-kun. Amain to viewers, internal panic. My heart skipped a beat. We've been acting like strangers to protect her reputation. But she looked genuinely despondent. She said she felt abandoned when I'd chat with Itsuki or Chitose while she had to stand there and play the role of the distant angel. But won't it look weird? I argued. The angel suddenly hanging out with a plain guy like me? The punishment reward. Mahiru's eyes snapped toward mine. She looked actually infuriated. She stepped forward and poked her index finger right against the tip of my nose. Do not say someone like me. You always belittle yourself, Amain-kun. It is a terrible habit. I'm just being realistic. If you do it again, she interrupted, her face flushing pink but her gaze staying firm, I shall point it out, and as punishment, I shall pat your head until I am satisfied. That's a reward, right? I blurted out. Silence. Total, soul-crushing silence. Amain to viewers, covering his face with his hands. I said it. I actually said it out loud. My brain just bypassed the filter. I told the most popular girl in school that her punishment was something I actually wanted. Mahiru froze. Her face went from pink to a deep, glowing crimson. She looked flustered, realized her threat was completely ineffective, and then, for some reason, she opened her arms toward me. Why, you're actually going to do it now? I stammered. I shall head-pat you with all my might the next time you say something self-deprecating, she declared, her voice trembling with embarrassment. Amain to viewers, to the camera, she was offering a hug-adjacent head-pat. Every instinct I have told me to dive in, but my sanity and my sense of guilt won out. I formally refused. I can't be trusted with that much softness while I'm this rattled. Vlog status. School life, about to get loud. Relationship status. Threatened with aggressive doting. Current sanity level, 2%. Chapter 75. Lunch with the Angel. Amain to viewers, camera angle. A low, slightly shaky shot from under a cafeteria table. The sound of hundreds of students chatting creates a dull roar in the background. I'm currently pinned down, trapped, ambushed. I thought I'd have a quiet lunch with Itsuki, but then she showed up. The Chitose tactical strike. Amain, let's eat together today. Chitose didn't just walk over. She practically towed Mahiru behind her like a prize. I remembered Mahiru's solution from the other night, getting along with me at school, and my face started twitching. Amain to viewers, to the lens, it's a perfect cover. Since Chitose and Itsuki are a known idiot couple, Mahiru can hang out with us under the guise of being Chitose's friend. It's genius. It's effective. And it's making every guy in this room want to set me on fire with their eyes. The unexpected reinforcement. Is it okay if I sit here? Mahiru asked with her perfect angel smile. Please do not mind, she added, her eyes flashing a look that said, You cannot run away, Amain-kun. Before I could even process that, Katawaki appeared out of nowhere. Eh? You're all having lunch together? That makes things interesting. Amain to viewers, internal screaming, great. Now we have the angel, the prince, the power couple, and me, the gloomy neighbor. Itsuki leaned over and whispered, just give up. Amain, you're surrounded. The bento reveal. We sat down, Mahiru directly opposite me, thanks to Chitosa's expert seating chart. Mahiru opened her bento. Did you make that, Shina-san? Katawaki asked, looking impressed. And it is just dinner leftovers, Mahiru said humbly. Amain to viewers, glancing at her bento, I recognize those teriyaki chicken balls. I had them for breakfast this morning. Seeing the exact same food in her bento while I sit across from her at school is a weirdly intimate feeling. It's like a secret we're sharing in plain sight. The poison tester appointment. Mahiran is a master chef. Chitose beamed, hugging Mahiru. Mahiran, you have to give me cooking lessons. I'll get Amain to be the poison tester. Hey, why am I the one eating the poison? I barked. I do not think a cooking class would be a hassle. Mahiru giggled. It sounds fun to cook with you, Chitose-san. Wah! I love you, Mahiran. Make sure you clear your schedule. Amain. The weight of envy. Amain to viewers, scanning the room. I can feel the daggers. The angel fans are staring at me with a mix of confusion and pure, unadulterated jealousy. Say, Itsuki, I feel like I'm about to be slaughtered. Is this really okay? It's fine. Sorta. Itsuki grinned. I'm actually jealous of you, Fujimiya, Katawaki added with a mysterious wry smile. What's there to be jealous of? You're the prince. Lots of things, he replied, glancing at Mahiru and then back at me. The secret smile. Itsuki and Chitose started one of their usual lover spats. Something about Chitose's weird flavors. And for a moment, the attention shifted. Mahiru looked a little confused by their bickering. But then her eyes met mine. For just a split second, the angel mask slipped. She didn't give me the polite, distant smile she gives the school. She gave me that bashful, soft smile she only shows in the apartment. Amain to viewers, averting his eyes, face turning pink. I had to look away. If I kept looking, someone was definitely going to figure it out. Vlog status. Asterisk public status. Just a guy eating with the popular kids. Private status. My heart is doing 120 miles per hour. Survival probability. Decreasing with every lunch break. Chapter 76. The angel wants to work hard. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is slumped on his sofa, looking like he's just survived a marathon. In the background, you can hear the soft hum of the refrigerator. The apartment is quiet, but the air feels charged. So the lunch ambush was just the beginning. I'm back at the apartment now, and the angel is currently sitting across from me with a look I can only describe as mischievous determination. The forceful angel. Were you shocked, Amain-kun? Mahiru asked, a tiny, impish smile playing on her lips. Shocked? I think blindsided is the word. You were really enthusiastic today. I am starting to realize, she said, leaning in slightly, that I have to be a little forceful with you. Otherwise, you'll just keep running away into the shadows. Amain to viewers, to the lens, she's not wrong. I have a black belt in avoiding the spotlight. But she's built a perimeter around me now using Chitose and Katawaki as anchors. I can't escape. I'm just glad she kept it to talking. If she had tried any of that innocent skinship she does here at the apartment, I'd be a marked man by tomorrow morning. The friend zone? I shall work hard to make sure this doesn't negatively affect your life, she promised. But, do you really dislike it? Me talking to you at school? Not really, I muttered. I know you've been lonely lately. I can't exactly leave a friend hanging when they're struggling, right? The second the word friend left my mouth, the atmosphere shifted. Mahiru's face went from uneasy to, well, she looked genuinely displeased. Like I just told her the pudding was adequate. Friend, she repeated flatly. Yeah? Is something? No, nothing. She turned her head away, pouting so hard it was almost a physical force. The head pat policy. Amain to viewers, panicked whispering. I sensed the mood was tanking fast. I did the only thing I knew would work. I reached out and started patting her head. Please do not think you can solve everything with head pats, she grumbled, though she didn't pull away. In fact, she leaned into it. I know, but it usually makes you happy. It does? But please do not try to fool other girls with this technique. I won't, I said, my voice getting a bit more serious than I intended. I'm only doing this to you. I don't have any desire to dote on anyone else. The Baka strike. Mahiru's response to my exclusive doting vow? She grabbed a cushion and started whacking me with it. Then, she leaned forward and gave my elbow a soft headbutt. It didn't hurt, but it was surprisingly aggressive for her. Amain kuin no Baka, she whispered into my sleeve. What did I do now? How much harder do I have to work? I don't follow, but look, don't overwork yourself. Keep it in moderation. This is something I can only achieve by working hard, she said, finally lifting her head. Her eyes were moist, looking past my shoulder with a mix of frustration and expectation. So, I gulped, my heart doing that annoying thumping thing again. What do you want me to do then? First, she said, her voice small but firm, continue with the head pats. Amain to viewers, staring at the camera while his hand is buried in Mahiru's hair. She said, first. That implies there's a second and a third. I have a feeling my normal, quiet life isn't just dying. It's being buried under a mountain of fluff and punishments. Vlog status. Asterisk current task. Manual cranial friction. Head pats. Mahiru's mood. 50% annoyed / 50% affectionate / 100% confusing. Amain's heart rate. Danger zone. Chapter 77. The Angel and the Promise to Go Out. Amain to viewers. Camera angle. Amain is sitting at his desk, staring at a wall calendar where the final days of April are being crossed out one by one. The red letters of Golden Week are looming. April is almost over. Usually, this is the time of year when everyone else is making big travel plans while I prepare to become a professional hermit. The Do Anything coupon. Another long vacation, I muttered, looking over at Mahiru, who was currently organizing her bag. Do you dislike it? She asked. Not really. I just never know how to spend the time. Aside from the poison taste test with you and Chitos and a karaoke session with the guys. My schedule is a blank slate. Mahiru didn't say anything at first. Instead, she reached for her phone, specifically the flipcase cover. She reached into one of the card slots and pulled out a small, zippered plastic bag. Inside was a neatly folded piece of paper. Amain to viewers, to the lens, I recognized it immediately. It was the I'll do anything you say coupon I gave her over a month ago. I thought she'd use it for something like, clean my entire apartment, or don't eat convenience store food for a month. May I use it? She asked, looking up at me unflinchingly. Give your command, I joked. I want to spend one day with you during Golden Week, Amain Kuin. I want to go shopping, to play. I want to go out. The request. You don't need a coupon for that, I said, giving a wry smile. I'll go shopping with you whenever you want. You should save that for something more important. I shall use it, she insisted, her expression turning serious. Promise that you will do everything I ask of you on that day. Well, if you say so, what are you going to make me do? Carry 10 tons of groceries. Carry some bags, she murmured, a small blush forming. And I want us to go somewhere we can both enjoy. The Secret Mission Cat Cafe. The problem is, I admitted, I don't really know where you'd want to go. Or where I'd want to go, for that matter. I want to go where you like, Amain Kuin. She tugged at my sleeve, looking up with those large, honest eyes. Amain to viewers, clutching his chest. Suffocation. That's the only word for it. When she does the sleeve tug, my logic center just shuts down. I sighed, ran a hand through my hair, and decided to come clean about a place I've always wanted to visit, but was too embarrassed to go to alone. Don't laugh at me. I will not. A cat cafe. Mahiru blinked. A cat cafe? Yeah. with kittens. I like animals, but I can't have them here. And going into a place like that alone as a high school guy, the stairs would be unbearable. But if you're with me, I think I could relax. The grand itinerary. Of course, Mahiru beamed. Then, let us go together. And after that, can we go to a game center? I have never been to one before. Amain to viewers, smiling at the camera. The princess of the school has never been to an arcade. I guess I'm gonna have to show her the ropes. Maybe I can win her another friend for the bunny and the bear. So, cat cafe, lunch, shopping, and the game center. That's a full day. Yes, she whispered, her face glowing with a shyness that came from overwhelming happiness. I am really looking forward to it. I wish for the holidays to arrive soon. Amain to viewers, watching Mahiru happily hug a cushion. My heart is pounding so loud I'm worried she can hear it. Usually I dread the crowds of Golden Week. But this time? Yeah, I said, my voice a bit hoarse. Me too. Vlog status. Asterisk plan. The Angel's first date. Don't call it a date. Don't call it a date. Current objective. Survive the wait until Golden Week. Heart rate. Off the charts. Chapter 78. The Angel's cooking class. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is slumped on his sofa, looking incredibly sleep-deprived. The clock on the wall behind him reads 9:15 a.m. In the background, the sounds of rhythmic chopping and high-pitched giggling echo from the kitchen. Welcome to the first day of Golden Week. Most people are sleeping in. Me? My apartment has been commandeered. The command center. Mahiran's first cooking class. Chitos declared, basically providing her own internal background music. Amain to viewers, sighs. Since Chitos's parents are home and she can't make a mess there, and I'm definitely not stepping foot in Mahiru's place. My living room is now the official headquarters. Chitos is acting like she's on a variety show, and Mahiru... Well, Mahiru is just trying to keep the kitchen from exploding. Please welcome our teacher for the day, Mahiru Shina-san. Chitos cheered, donning a bright apron. You're the one who got invited here, I grumbled. Stop acting like a host. And here we have our poison guest, the very picky eater, Amain Fujimiya-san. This is my house, and call me a taster, not a poison guest. You're ruining the vibe before the stove is even on. The trauma of Valentine's past. Mahiru gave me a small, apologetic smile as she prepped the station. Sorry, Amain-kun. I know it's early. It's fine, I said, rubbing my eyes. Just watch out for her. Make sure she doesn't sneak any eccentric spices into the pot. I still have nightmares about those Valentine's chocolates. You really distrust me, huh? Chitos pouted, rolling up her sleeves with dangerous levels of confidence. I can cook normally. Probably. Amain to viewers, to the lens. That probably is exactly why I'm sitting 5 feet away from a fire extinguisher. The menu of doom, or delight. Mahiru led Chitos into the kitchen, a space she now knows better than I do. The menu for today: quiche with salad, prawn bisque, and sautéed prawns. It's a prawn-themed lunch, I muttered, because Mahiru remembered I liked them. Amain to viewers, leaning back. I have literally nothing to do. I've been banned from the kitchen so the students can focus. It's a tantalizing sight, though. 2 pretty girls in aprons, domestic sounds filling the air. Any other guy would be over the moon. But me? I'm just bracing for the moment Chitos asks me to try this, and it turns out to be prawn-flavored lava. The pre-lunch nap. I feel like someone is doubting my culinary genius. Chitos narrowed her eyes at me. I immediately looked away and buried myself in the sofa cushions. Just call me when it's safe to eat. Or when the smoke alarm goes off. Amain to viewers, yawning, they're gonna be at it for a few hours. I'm just gonna close my eyes for a bit. It's my house, after all. The only person who's allowed to scold me for napping is the teacher. And she's currently busy explaining the difference between simmer and burn. Amain's eyes drift shut as the sound of Mahiru's patient voice and Chitos's energetic chatter fades into the background. Vlog status. Asterisk current status. Nap mode. Kitchen hazard level. Yellow, pending Chitos's seasoning. Mahiru's teacher rating, 10 out of 10. Gemini said. Chapter 79. The Angel and the Little Devil. A main to viewers, camera angle. A main is sitting upright on the sofa, rubbing his eyes. He looks deeply disoriented. The sunlight hitting the floor has shifted significantly since he closed his eyes. I messed up. I thought I'd just close my eyes for a few minutes while the girls handled the prawns. I didn't expect to wake up in the middle of a sensory overload. The sweetest wake-up call. The first thing I registered wasn't a sound, but a scent. It was that milk and flowers aroma, Mahiru's signature scent. In my half-asleep state, I must have gone hunting for the source, because I felt something warm and soft against my face. It is very itchy. A soft, perturbed voice vibrated right next to my ear. My eyes snapped open to see a wall of silky, milky white fabric. I looked up timidly, only to find Mahiru's face inches from mine. She was blushing furiously. "Mahiru," I croaked. "Yes. Good morning. Good morning. But it is now noon." A main to viewers, to the lens, whispering. I had been using her shoulder as a pillow. Her collar was slightly open, and I'd basically buried my face right there. It was a total accident, but I felt like a criminal. I expected her to slap me. Instead, she just looked down bashfully, like she'd forgiven me before I even asked. It's honestly more troubling when she doesn't get mad. The little devil intervenes. I think Mahiran is seeing it as a Mainkuan being sleepy and fawning over her. A voice teased from the kitchen. "Chitos-san," Mahiru squeaked, her face turning a deeper shade of red. Chitos was leaning against the counter, leering at us with a grin that could only be described as predatory. "Say, when did you two start calling each other by names so naturally?" Chitos asked, her eyes sparkling. A main to viewers, freezing up. "Crap. I slipped. My guard was down because I just woke up, and I used her given name right in front of the one person who lives for this kind of gossip. I already heard from Mahiran anyway." Chitos laughed, waving a hand. "I know you two address each other by name. I'm just happy you're getting along. It's not a bad thing. Lunch is served." "We are done preparing lunch," Mahiru said, clearly trying to steer the conversation away from her burning cheeks. "You will eat it, I suppose?" "Of course. But did I really sleep that long?" "A long time passed." Mahiru nodded with a wry smile. "We had plenty of time to watch your sleeping face. You didn't prank me, did you?" I shot a suspicious look at Chitos. "Of course we didn't." Chitos insisted, though her innocent act was less than convincing. A main to viewers, walking to the table, the spread looked incredible. Quiche, salad, bisque, and the sautéed prawns I'd asked for. It looked like a high-end cafe lunch. Mahiru assured me she'd supervised every step to ensure Chitos didn't add any secret ingredients. The palm-sized quiche. "The quiche you're eating is from Mahiru," Chitos explained. "I made a special one for Iken. I wonder if he'll be happy." She'd made a separate palm-sized quiche just for Itsuki. For all her mischief, she really does care about him. Watching her look so bashful about her cooking was a reminder that underneath the little devil exterior, she's actually a pretty good girlfriend. "Then, ita de kamasu," I said, clapping my hands together. "Please do. Enjoy the food," Chitos beamed. A main to viewers, taking a bite. "It's delicious. Safe, flavored correctly, and made by the angel, with a little help from the devil. This might be the best start to Golden Week I've ever had." Vlog status. * survival. Confirmed. Lunch quality. 10 out of 10. Current secret level. Compromised. Chitos knows everything. Chapter 80. The Angel's Prank. A main to viewers, camera angle. A main is sitting back on his sofa. The apartment is quiet again now that Chitos has left, but the air feels a little heavy. Mahiru is sitting next to him, staring at her lap, fidgeting with the hem of her apron. Chitos is gone, the prawns are finished, and now, the confession. No, not that kind of confession. Apparently, something happened while I was asleep that's weighing on the angel's conscience. The crime confessed. I am really sorry. Mahiru whispered suddenly. What for? Did you accidentally salt the bisque twice? About the prank, she said, her eyebrows lowering in genuine remorse. Chito-san didn't actually do anything to you while you were sleeping. But I did. Amain to viewers, to the lens. I blinked. I'd totally written off the possibility of Mahiru pranking me. She's too angel-like for that, right? Wrong. Apparently, she's been harboring a secret mischievous streak. What did you do? I asked, braced for the worst. I poked your cheek. And then, I ruffled your hair while you were sleeping. The definition of a prank. Amain to viewers, deadpan stare at the camera. Is that it? She looks like she's confessing to a felony, but she basically just treated me like a stray cat. Mahiru, that's not a prank. That's just skinship. If poking a guy's face is a prank, then half the things we do are pranks. But it was cute, she murmured. You're the only person on earth who thinks a high school boy's sleeping face is cute. Chitose only said it because she wanted to mess with me. I could not help myself, Mahiru insisted, looking up with a bit more heat. I poked you however I wanted. The counterattack. Is poking a guy's face really that satisfying? I asked. I decided if she was going to prank me, I might as well return the favor. I reached out and poked her cheek. Amain to viewers, whispering, her skin is unfair. It's soft, bouncy, and perfectly maintained. It's like poking a marshmallow that's been sitting in the sun. Since you touched me, I'm touching you back, I said, gently pinching her fluffy cheek. Mahiru looked a little displeased for a second, so I shifted my tactic. I started tickling her chin the way you'd coax a kitten. She let out a tiny, high-pitched shriek. What are you doing? Just practicing for the cat cafe, I teased. Using a human for practice. What am I to you? You're like a cat, Mahiru, and a dog, and maybe a rabbit. The wolf pack. Amain to viewers, to the camera, it's true. She's a wary cat at first, a loyal dog once she likes you, and a rabbit because she hates being alone. She's a whole zoo in one girl. If I am a cat or a dog, Mahiru said, regaining her composure and looking at me with an intensity that made my heart stutter. Then you are a wolf, a Maine-Coon. Do I look like a predator? No. Wolves care for their pack. They treasure their family and those they open their hearts to. You have a small circle, but you protect it fiercely. Maybe you're right, I muttered, feeling a bit bashful. I wish that is the case, she whispered, her voice trailing off. Wish for what? Nothing. Your hair is just fluffy like a wolf's. Amain to viewers, as Mahiru starts ruffling his hair again. She's definitely hiding something she wanted to say, but I'm not going to push it. For now, I'll just sit here and let the cat-dog rabbit mess up my hair. Vlog status. Asterisk prank war. Mutual. Animal comparison. Wolf. Accurate. Current feeling. If she keeps ruffling my hair, I might fall asleep again. Chapter 81. The Angel and the Boys Dress Up. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is standing in his entryway, checking his reflection in the hall mirror. He's wearing a white v-neck, a denim jacket, and black slim pants. He's actually used hair wax, a rare event. It's the morning of our Golden Week outing. Usually when you go on a date, not that I'm calling it that, you meet at a station. But since we live 3 inches apart, the meetup consists of Mahiru knocking on my door. The chiffon revelation. Good morning, Amain-Coon. I opened the door and actually forgot how to breathe for a second. Mahiru wasn't in her school uniform or her cooking apron look. She'd tied her hair up into a neat bun. Practical for the cat cafe, but it exposed the line of her neck in a way that was distracting. Amain to viewers, to the lens, whispering. She's wearing this white chiffon blouse with an open collar and lantern sleeves. It's got these lace details where you can vaguely see her arms. It's innocent, but also way more alluring than what I'm used to. And she's wearing the floral bracelet I bought her. My heart actually felt hot seeing that. Does it look weird? She asked, looking down at her tights. You might think I am being too excited for a simple outing. No, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I think you're even cuter than usual, Mahiru. I think your parents taught you to be far too honest with your praise. She blushed, hiding behind her bag. The wax dilemma. I reached out instinctively to pat her head, but I froze mid-air. She'd painstakingly styled that bun. If I messed it up now, I'd be a monster. Mahiru noticed my hand hovering and gave a little wry smile. Have you become addicted to patting my head recently, Amain-kun? It feels nice. I'll stop if you dislike it. I do not dislike it, she whispered. In fact, I wish to pat your head when I want to as well. I don't mind, but I waxed my hair today, so maybe hold off until we get back. The patting reciprocity. Amain to viewers, to the camera, I dressed up a bit because I didn't want to look like a hobo standing next to the school's angel, but I still feel like a background character next to her. Still, she seemed happy that I gave her permission to pat my head later. I usually pat you, I told her. It's only fair that you get to pat me back. If it makes you happy, I'm game. Mahiru's face lit up. I shall hold you to that. But today, I shall focus my patting on the kittens. Right? Let's go. The final strike. We stepped out into the hallway. Usually, we walk with a bit of distance at school, but today was different. I felt a bit bold. Maybe it was the hair wax, or maybe it was the way she was looking at me. As we reached the elevator, I stopped and reached my hand out toward her. Give me your hand, I said, half joking, half terrified. Amain to viewers, a shot of their hands intertwining. Her face turned beet red, but she didn't hesitate. She smiled, slipped her hand into mine, and held on tight. Vlog status. Asterisk hands. Held. Pulse. Lethal levels. Destination. The Cat Cafe if I don't faint first. Chapter 82. The Angel, the Cat, and the White Beard. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is sitting on a plush, low-profile sofa. The background is a soft aesthetic of light wood and climbing trees for cats. A sleek Russian blue cat is visible in the distance, judging everyone from a high shelf. We made it. The Cat Cafe. I did my research, but being here is different. It's cleaner than I expected. No animal smell. Just the scent of high-end coffee and peace. The cat enthusiast unleashed. Cats. Please look, Amain-kun. This little one is so cute. Amain to viewers, to the lens. I've never seen Mahiru like this. Usually, she's the composed angel. But the second we sanitized our hands and stepped inside, she turned into a kid at a theme park. She's whispering because there are other people around, but her eyes are sparkling like she's found a hidden treasure. She knelt down to greet a Siamese cat named Silk. She didn't grab at it. She knows the rules. She just offered a finger for a nose-to-nose greeting. Silk gave her a sniff, decided she was worthy, and then immediately walked away. I think I have been rejected, Mahiru murmured, looking absolutely despondent. It's just a greeting, I laughed, taking her hand to lead her to a sofa. Cats are moody. Let it get used to you first. The art of the latte. We sat down, and I ordered the shop's signature lattes. I didn't tell her about the latte art. I wanted it to be a surprise. When the attendant brought them out, Mahiru's jaw practically dropped. Her cup had a sleeping cat curled up in the foam. Mine had a cat peeking over the edge. I cannot bring myself to drink it, she whispered, taking dozens of photos from every possible angle. It's a pity to ruin something so cute. It's a pity to let it get cold, I countered, taking a sip of mine. You. She groaned, looking at her cup like it was a sacred relic. The milk foam incident. Eventually, she gave in. She lifted the cup with the kind of focus usually reserved for a bomb squad, trying desperately not to disturb the foam cat's face. Amain to viewers, muffled laughter. She was so focused on the cat in the cup that she completely ignored the physics of milk foam. When she pulled the cup away, she had a perfect, Santa Claus-style white beard made of froth right above her lip. Why are you laughing? She asked, looking genuinely confused. Well, you've got a white beard. I didn't even think. I just whipped out my phone and snapped a photo. Why you just took a photo? Sorry, I said, though I wasn't sorry at all. Do you want me to delete it? Are you really going to keep such an embarrassing photo? Her cheeks turned a bright pink, contrasting perfectly with the white foam still stuck to her face. It's too cute to delete, I said honestly. Mahiru bit her lip, looked away, and muttered, just one. You can keep just one. Amain to viewers, to the camera, grinning success. I now have a photo of the school's most beautiful girl looking like a confused Santa. This golden week is already a 10 out of 10. Vlog status. Asterisk photo gallery. Secret treasure unlocked. Mahiru's status. Mortified but adorable. Next stop. More cat patting and maybe wiping that foam off her face. Chapter 83. The Angel's Moody? Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is sitting on the floor, cross-legged. A sleek Siamese cat is currently using his arm as a chin rest. In the background, you can see Mahiru standing by the reception desk, looking back at him with a pout that could melt glaciers. Okay, so the cat cafe mission has taken a weird turn. I thought I was the one who was supposed to be the socially awkward one here, but it turns out I'm a cat magnet. And for some reason, the angel isn't thrilled about it. The lap conquest started with cacao and American shorthair. She didn't even ask. She just hopped onto my lap like she owned the place. This one isn't shy, I muttered, letting her sniff my hand. I could feel Mahiru's eyes burning holes in the side of my head. She looked so envious I actually felt guilty. Mahiru, hand over here, I said. I guided her hand to Cacao's cheek. The cat purred, a deep, rhythmic thrumming that made Mahiru's eyes sparkle. Amain Kuin, it let me touch. Amain to viewers, to the lens. She was beaming. It was the healed expression I came here to see. But cats are capricious. The second Mahiru got comfortable, Cacao decided she'd had enough human time and vanished to the top of a cat tree. Enter angel number 2. I stood up to grab a magazine, but I didn't get far. Silk, the regal Siamese from earlier, was suddenly at my feet. Meow. She didn't just greet me. She leaned into my arm and practically demanded service. I sat back down on the floor and started scratching behind her ears. Silk was exactly like Mahiru, aloof and standoffish at first, but once the walls come down, she's a total fawn machine. I was wondering who you resembled. I whispered to the cat. You're basically Mahiru in a fur coat. Click. I looked up. Mahiru was standing right there, smartphone in hand, capturing my intimate moment with the cat. The sleazy accusation. I was wondering why you were so slow, Mahiru said, her voice dropping an octave. When did you become so close with Silk-chan? I don't know, she just picked me. It's weird, though. She reminds me of you. Similar? How? Well, you're standoffish at first, but once we get closer, you like to fawn. Amain to viewers, rubbing the back of his neck. That was the wrong thing to say. Mahiru's face went from curious to deeply displeased in 0.5 seconds. I am not a cat, she huffed. And I do not simply approach anyone. Yeah, I know. You're way more wary. Are you thinking of me as a cat right now? She looked at my hand, which was currently buried in Silk's soft fur. No, 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 I lied, using my other hand, the one not covered in cat, to give Mahiru a quick, placating head pat. Look, why don't you go borrow some toys from the receptionist? You can play with Silk too. Please do not try to pull a fast one on me, she muttered, though she did turn to go get the toys. How sleazy, Amain Kuin. Amain's confusion. Amain to viewers, staring blankly at the camera. Sleazy? I'm sitting on the floor of a cafe petting a Siamese cat. What part of this is sleazy? Is she jealous of the cat? Or is she mad that I compared her to one? Silk just purred and rubbed her forehead against my palm, offering zero helpful advice. Vlog status. Asterisk cat affinity. Maxed out. Angel affinity. Currently fluctuating. Current mystery. Why am I in trouble for being good with animals? Chapter 84. The Angel's Unexpected Weakness. Amain to viewers. Camera angle. Amain and Mahiru are walking through a bright, bustling shopping mall. The background noise is a mix of pop music and the chatter of holiday crowds. Amain is carrying a small bag from the cat cafe gift shop. So we survived the cats. Mostly. I still don't know why Mahiru kept pouting every time a kitten chose my lap over hers. But she seems to have cheered up now that we're in shopping mode. The win-win argument. Why are you making such a face? I asked as we exited the restaurant where we'd just had lunch. You do not have to pay for everything, Amain-kun, Mahiru said, looking at me with those slightly displeased, worried eyes. I told you it's for my own pleasure too. I'm the one who wanted to come here, remember? You're doing me a favor by tag-along. But, no buts. Think of it as a win-win. Besides, if you really feel bad about it, let's just promise to come back again sometime. Amain to viewers, to the lens, smiling. That did the trick. She pursed her lips, but she didn't argue further. Instead, she just leaned her head against my arm for a second and gripped my hand a little tighter. Score 1 for the wolf. Window shopping and summer plans. We drifted toward the clothing section. The mall was packed since it was Golden Week, so I kept a firm hold on her hand to make sure we didn't get separated. Do you actually have anything you need to buy? I asked. Nothing in particular. I just wanted to do some window shopping. Is that all right? Of course. I've been dragged around malls by my mom since I was a kid. I'm immune to the boredom most guys feel during shopping trips. We started looking at summer clothes. It felt a bit early, but the displays were already full of short sleeves and light fabrics. It reminded me of our plan for the summer break. This summer, you're still okay with coming to my hometown, right? Ah, why yes, if your mother doesn't mind. Trust me, Shihoko probably already has a room ready for you. She was thrilled when I mentioned it. The great swimming mystery. My hometown isn't a big city, I explained. But there's plenty to do. Huge parks and one of the biggest water parks in the region. Since swimming is an elective at school, we never really get to go. It might be fun to hit the pool there. I stopped. Mahiru had gone completely stiff. Her face was turning a very interesting shade of pink. It is nothing, she stammered. Don't worry. I wasn't thinking of anything indecent like seeing you in a swimsuit. I can go alone if you're uncomfortable. I have no such misunderstanding, but the pee pool, I might consider going. If we do not have to actually swim. I blinked. Wait, can you not swim? The angel of the school, the girl who is perfect at academics and sports, looked away in total shame. Since it was an elective, I assumed I did not need to tell anyone. The dangerous proximity. Amain to viewers, to the camera, whispering, I found a weakness. The perfect Mahiru Shina is a literal anchor in the water. It's actually kind of adorable. She was so embarrassed that she started pulling on my arm to drag me away from the conversation. We have talked enough about swimming. Come on, let us go. Because she was flustered, she wasn't paying attention to how close she was. Her chiffon blouse is thin, very thin. As she leaned into my arm to pull me, I could feel, well, everything. The softness, the warmth of her skin through the fabric. It was a direct hit to my sanity. Amain to viewers, staring blankly ahead. I'm a coward. I know I should probably say something about personal space, but if I do, she'll turn into a human torch from embarrassment and probably run all the way home. I just gently shifted my arm and took her hand properly, trying to ignore the lingering sensation. Okay, don't run. You'll fall. I am not a child, she huffed, still not realizing how much she'd just rattled me. Vlog status. * new discovery. The angel can't swim. Amain's mental state, currently trying to delete the soft sensation from his sensory memory. Next stop. The game center, where hopefully no swimming is required. Chapter 85. The angel and Amain's recommendation. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is standing in the middle of a high-end clothing floor, holding a small, stylish handbag that definitely doesn't belong to him. He looks incredibly out of place. We're at the window shopping phase. I realized something today. Mahiru as the angel at school is like a high-definition painting, beautiful, but static. But Mahiru out here, she's alive. She's smiling so much her hand is practically vibrating against mine. It's dangerous for my health. The self-awareness trap. What is it? Mahiru asked, catching me staring. Nothing. Just noticed the stares. Walking with you is like walking with a spotlight. I don't think they're only looking at me, she muttered, her grip on my hand tightening. Right? They're probably wondering why the princess has an attendant carrying her bag. Mahiru stopped walking and looked up at me, her expression a mix of frustration and genuine annoyance. It is a bother how you have no self-awareness, Amain-kun. I shall have to explain it to you slowly until you understand. Amain to viewers. Internal panic. Explain what? Why does she sound like she's planning a lecture? She even poked my nose to shush me. She's definitely in forceful mode today. The bullet incident. She leaned her forehead against my elbow as we walked, her body drifting closer. I tried to be a gentleman. I really did. But eventually, the physical reality of the situation became impossible to ignore. Mahiru-san. You're doing this on purpose, right? Purpose. Well, your chest is touching my arm. Boom. Mahiru jolted away from me like she'd been hit by a kinetic blast. Her face went from pale porcelain to overripe beetroot in less than a second. And not at all. I can tell from the reaction. I sighed, trying to manage my own rising heat. You subconsciously lean on people you're familiar with. Just pay attention. I'm a guy, okay? I have normal instincts. You should be more careful. I started to create a bit of distance between us, thinking she'd be relieved. Instead, she looked hurt. She reached out and snagged my hand before I could fully pull away. Please do not let go, she whispered, looking at the floor. I may get lost. It is bad to lose my way. The off-shoulder dare. To change the subject before we both spontaneously combusted, I pointed at a mannequin near a boutique entrance. Look, that dress. I think it would suit you. It was a white, thin-striped off-shoulder one-piece. Very refreshing. Very summer. Is that what you like? Mahiru asked, her interest piqued. I think it would look decent on you. Fits your vibe. Mahiru didn't even hesitate. She grabbed the dress, handed me her bag, and vanished into the changing room. I stood there, awkwardly holding her feminine purse, while the shop attendants gave me these warm, look at the cute couple smiles. The summer promise. A few minutes later, the curtain pulled back. Mahiru was back in her chiffon blouse. You didn't change? I checked the size, but I cannot show you because of my undergarments. This dress requires different ones, right? Sorry. My bad. But you said it suits me, she said, her voice dropping to a bashful whisper. I've taken a liking to it. I'm going to buy it. I reached for my wallet. If I recommended it, I should. No. She stopped me, her hand over mine. I shall buy it, and I shall show it off to you, Amain-kun. But it has to wait until the weather gets hotter. You'll have to wait until summer. Amain to viewers, staring at the ceiling, heart pounding. She said she's buying it to show it off to me. To me, my sanity is officially in the negatives. I caught the cashier's eye. She was practically glowing with second-hand romance, and I had to look away before I tripped over my own feet. Vlog status. Asterisk purchase. The summer trap dress. Current feeling. Like a wolf that's been outmaneuvered by a rabbit. Next destination. The game center. Please, let there be no more soft sensations there. Chapter 86. The Angel and the Game Center. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is standing in the middle of a neon-drenched arcade. The background is a chaotic symphony of 8-bit music, clacking buttons, and the high-pitched pew-pew announcer. He looks remarkably calm compared to the girl beside him. Welcome to the lair of noise. I brought Mahiru to my usual haunt. For someone who lives in a quiet, painting-like world, this place is basically a sensory assault. The mission, Silkshan 2.0. It is very loud, Mahiru whispered, her brow furrowing as we dodged a row of aggressive-looking slot machines. That's the charm, I deadpanned, leading her toward the crane games. So what's the target? High-speed racing? Rhythm games? I want to try the crane game, she said, her hands clenching and relaxing into tiny, determined fists. I want to catch a doll. She stopped in front of a machine filled with cat plushes. Her eyes locked onto one, a white cat with tea-colored patches and piercing blue eyes. A Maine Coon? Does she not resemble Silkshan from the cafe? It's a dead ringer. You want it. I want to try. May I? The rookie mistake. A Maine to viewers, to the lens. I could have nabbed it in one shot, but Mahiru was practically radiating main character energy. I had to let her challenge it. She inserted the coin, her face a mask of intense concentration. She nudged the joystick horizontally, lined it up, and then let go to check the position. Clack! The crane immediately dropped, grabbed nothing but air, and returned to the home position. It stopped moving. Sorry. I winced. I forgot to mention, this is a one button per direction type. Once you let go, that's it. No takebacks. I have wasted 100 yen. It is my fault for being careless. The angel's trial and error. A Maine to viewers, smiling. One thing about Mahiru. She's not just pretty. She's a fast learner. I slipped another coin in, ignoring her. I can pay for myself glare. And gave her a quick crash course in arcade physics. Don't try to lift it, I advised. The grip is too weak. Aim for the head and try to nudge the center of gravity toward the drop zone. Think of it like a puzzle. She nodded solemnly. For the next 10 minutes, the angel of the school was locked in a grueling duel with a mechanical claw. Every time she missed, she'd let out a tiny moo and recalculate. On the 5th try, thump. The Silkshan look-alike tumbled into the bin. The elated victor. I did it. I actually did it. A Maine Coon. She didn't just smile. She beamed. I reached into the bin, pulled out the prize, and handed it to her. She immediately hugged the doll to her cheek, her eyes narrowing with pure, unadulterated joy. A Maine to viewers, internal monologue. Must maintain self-control. She looked so innocent and happy holding that cat that I actually felt a pang of jealousy toward the doll. Which is pathetic. I know. A Maine Coon? She timidly held the doll out to me. Would you like to keep it? Me? But you worked so hard for it. I worked hard because of you, and I know you liked the real Silkshan. If you don't want it, I can keep it, but... She looked down, her shoulders sagging. I thought you might want a memory of today. I'll take it, I said quickly. I'll treasure it. Though, I can't exactly keep it on my pillow like you do with yours. I hope you will forget about that, she squeaked, her face turning crimson. The boss music starts. A Maine to viewers, the camera suddenly jolts as a Maine freezes. The upbeat arcade music feels suddenly ominous. I was just about to reach out and pat her head, a reward for her hard work, when a voice cut through the noise. A very familiar, very friendly, very dangerous voice. Shina-san. We both froze. Standing there, looking equal parts surprised and intrigued, was Katawaki, the prince of the school. Vlog status. Asterisk achievement. Silkshan 2.0 secured. Current threat level code red. Situation. Caught on a not a date by the most popular guy in class. Gemini said. Chapter 87. The Prince's Questions. A Maine to viewers, camera angle. A shaky POV shot from a Maine's perspective, looking directly at Katawaki. The arcade lights are reflecting off Katawaki's perfectly styled hair. The boss music from the last chapter has reached a crescendo. This is it. The moment every protagonist in a rom-com dreads. We've been spotted by the one guy in school who actually pays attention. The angel shield. Katawaki-san, Mahiru said, instantly pivoting into her school angel persona. A Maine to viewers, to the lens. Her smile was there, but it was stiff, brittle. She was internally screaming, and honestly, so was I. I knew Golden Week was a minefield for running into classmates, but I didn't expect to trip over the prince himself. It's surprising to see you here, Shina-san, Katawaki said, his eyes drifting toward me. He looked troubled. Am I disturbing something? I didn't know you had a lover. That is not our relationship. Mahiru flatly denied it. Amain to viewers, wincing, ouch. I mean, she's right, we aren't dating, but hearing it shut down that fast always stings a little. Katawaki didn't look convinced. He leaned in, staring at my face with those unervingly observant eyes. The cover is blown. Fujimiya. Amain to viewers, sighing. Caught. I've got the wax, the jacket, the not gloomy vibe, and he still pegged me. I guess the prince title isn't just for show. The guy is sharp. How did you figure out it was me? I asked, dropping the act. I guessed. You don't usually make that expression at school, but the face and the vibe. It's definitely you. Though I doubt anyone else in our class would recognize you like this. It appears we can't hide it, I said, putting a hand to my forehead. Look, Katawaki. We knew each other before the second year started. We're on good terms, but it's not what you think. The prince's insight. Katawaki looked at me, then at Mahiru, who was currently tugging at the hem of my shirt and looking up at me like, well, like someone who was definitely not just a friend. Katawaki chuckled. I guess so, just like Itsuki said. What did Itsuki say? I asked, narrowing my eyes. Just that you're actually handsome when you put in the effort. It'd be great if you were always like this at school. Too much work, I muttered. I'd stand out. I like the shadows. Katawaki turned his gaze back to Mahiru. He wasn't suspicious. He looked empathetic? I think I get it now. You really have it tough, Shina-san. You're unexpectedly easy to understand. The pact of silence. Mahiru shivered, her face turning pink. Katawaki-san, I hope you will not mention this. About us being on good terms. It would be problematic. Don't worry, Katawaki said with a hearty, honest smile. I know how it is. If word got out that the angel was hanging out with a secret friend, the school would turn into a war zone. I have no interest in spreading rumors. Amain to viewers, to the camera, I've never been more grateful for Katawaki's good guy energy. He's popular, he's handsome, and he's actually a decent human being. It's almost annoying how perfect he is. The parting shot. Anyway, Fujimiya, Katawaki said, giving me an impish grin as he turned to leave. Be seeing you 2 days from now. He was referring to our karaoke session with Itsuki. That impish smile told me exactly what was coming. A massive interrogation. Oh, right? I replied hoarsely. As Katawaki walked away, I noticed Mahiru looking a little envious? Or maybe just relieved. Either way, the date that isn't a date just got a lot more complicated. Vlog status. Asterisk secret status. Partially compromised. Katawaki joined the Those Who Know Club. Current mood. Paranoia. Next step. Getting out of this arcade before we run into the rest of the class. Chapter 88. The talk after reaching home. Amain to viewers. Camera angle. Amain is sitting on his sofa, the neon hum of the arcade replaced by the familiar, quiet ticking of his wall clock. He's changed out of his jacket, but the Silkchan plushie is sitting prominently on the coffee table. We're back. The date is officially over, and the adrenaline is fading, leaving behind a very awkward lingering question. How much trouble are we actually in? The post-game apology. For some reason, I feel sorry, I muttered, looking over at Mahiru. She had already undone her bun, her silky hair falling back over her shoulders like a curtain. She blinked at me, looking genuinely confused. Why do you say so? Well, Katawaki knows now. That wasn't part of the plan. It was unforeseen, she admitted, her voice soft. But the outcome is fine. He is observant and he is considerate. It is better that it was him rather than someone else. Amain to viewers, to the lens, rubbing the back of his neck. She's right. But my heart still does a weird, painful twitch when I remember her flatly denying we were in a relationship. I know it's the truth, but hearing the angel shut it down that fast. It's a reality check I wasn't ready for. The good guy defense. You really seem to fancy Katawaki-san, Mahiru noted, watching me closely. Sorta. Since we've started talking more, I really get why he's the prince. He's amazing inside and out. I trust his character. My bad person alarm doesn't go off around him at all. So this is what they mean by birds of a feather flock together, she whispered. I don't see how I'm anything like him. Poke. Mahiru's index finger found my cheek again. You are being self-deprecating again, Amain-kun. Katawaki-san approached you because he recognized you as a good person, right? It is the same logic you used to view him. You should be more confident. The shadow of the past. Amain to viewers. Amain's expression darkens slightly as he looks away from the camera. She went into full lecture mode. I tried to laugh it off, but she hit a nerve. She asked why I have this habit of denying myself. I didn't have an answer for her. Or rather, I had one, but it's a bitter memory I'm not ready to put on a vlog. The past has a way of leaving scars that don't just vanish because you put on a nice jacket and go to a cat cafe. Well, I'll keep it in mind, I said, trying to steer the mood back. Say, Mahiru? Yes. Thanks. The baka closure. I meant it. Having someone who acknowledges you when you're busy tearing yourself down. It's the biggest happiness I've found in this apartment. Mahiru looked shocked for a second. Then, slowly, she leaned her forehead against my shoulder. Amain-kun, you really? Really what? Nothing at all. She turned her head away, her voice a tiny mumble against my shirt. Baka. Amain to viewers, looking down at the top of Mahiru's head. I don't understand why she's calling me an idiot now, but she's not pulling away, so I'll just sit here. The prince might be interrogating me in 2 days, but for tonight, the angel is staying right here. Vlog status. Asterisk current mood. Quietly content. Self-depreciation. Blocked by the angel. Upcoming boss fight. Karaoke with Katawaki and Itsuki. Chapter 89. Karaoke and practice. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is sitting in a dimly lit karaoke box. He is holding a glass of melon soda like a shield. To his left, Itsuki is vibrating with excitement. To his right, Katawaki is smiling with the kind of calm intensity that usually precedes a police interrogation. I knew this was coming. 2 days after the arcade incident, I'm officially on trial. The judge is the prince of the school, and the executioner is my best friend. The interrogation begins. So, Katawaki started, leaning back as the colorful karaoke lights swirled around us. Shall we hear an explanation of what happened 2 days ago? I took a long, desperate sip of melon soda. It's not some big drama. We're just neighbors. Itsuki and Chitose found out by accident. It's a coincidence that turned into, well, we just got closer. So you go out on dates now? Katawaki pressed. It wasn't a... I stopped. Denying it with all my might was for Mahiru's honor. But even I knew how it looked. We don't have that kind of relationship. I don't think it's exactly what you say, Fujimiya, Katawaki countered. He's understating it, Itsuki interjected, dropping a literal nuclear bomb into the conversation. Shina-san's been cooking for him every day. Silence. The commuting wife theory. A commuting wife? Katawaki asked, his eyebrows nearly hitting his hairline. No, I live alone. We split the food costs. It's just convenient, I practically shouted. Katawaki looked at me, then at Itsuki, then back at me. Do you honestly believe that yourself? Normally, Katawaki continued, sounding like he was speaking from some very traumatic personal experience with girls. Wary girls like Shina-san don't just enter a boy's room or cook for them unless they're comfortable, or unless they want to be attacked. You've definitely received preferential treatment. The haymaker question. Amain to viewers, to the lens. I tried to retreat into my melon soda again, but Katawaki wasn't done. He delivered the one question I've been trying to outrun for months. So, do you like Shina-san or not, Fujimiya? I nearly choked. Where is this coming from? You look very wary, Katawaki observed. But I can tell from your eyes and the mood between you two. You really like her. Is there a reason you can't admit it? I haven't thought about dating her, I muttered. I don't think she likes me as a guy. She just relies on me. We trust each other. That's all. Itsuki slapped me on the back so hard I almost bit my tongue. You really have no confidence. You always run away when the stakes are high. The prince's bitter medicine. Mahiru says that too. I sighed. Shina-san sure has it tough. Katawaki and Itsuki said in unison. Shut up. Look, Katawaki said, his smile turning from friendly to, I am about to fix your life whether you like it or not. If you want to date her, you need to put in the effort. And step 1 is getting used to the stairs. You looked great the other day. Want some practice? Practice? Katawaki reached into his bag and pulled out a professional male grooming kit. Wax, combs, the works, the ambush. Amain to viewers. The camera shakes as Amain tries to back away into the corner of the karaoke booth. I saw the shiver up my spine before I even felt it. Katawaki's prince smile is terrifying when it's directed at your forehead. Shall we? Katawaki asked. No, forget it. Let's just sing. We're here for karaoke. Of course, Katawaki smiled, handing the wax to Itsuki. I'll pick the songs. Itsuki, you handle the remodeling. Leave it to me. Itsuki grinned, crackling his knuckles. Amain to viewers, final shot. Itsuki is looming over Amain with a comb, while Katawaki calmly selects a high-energy pop song on the monitor. There is nowhere to run. My hair is currently being sacrificed in the name of self-confidence. Send help. Vlog status. Asterisk current condition. Undergoing forced makeover. Relationship status. It's complicated, according to everyone but me. Next track. Probably a love song I'm too embarrassed to sing. Chapter 90. The Angel and Roasted Mochi. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is sitting at his dining table, looking physically and mentally drained. His hair is still slightly styled from Itsuki's remodeling. And there's a pile of shopping bags from brands he can't pronounce sitting by the door. I'm back from the lion's den, or rather the karaoke box of doom. I survived the makeover, the shopping spree, and the interrogation. But now, I have to face the one person I'm actually nervous to show this new me to. The home front welcome. Welcome back. Mahiru was in the kitchen mid-prep for hamburger steaks. She turned around and paused, her eyes widening as she took in my hair and the general not gloomy aura radiating from my new clothes. I'm back, I sighed, dropping into my chair. You seem tired? Itsuki tortured me. He decided I was his personal dress-up doll. They dragged me through half the mall, making me try on clothes until I felt like a mannequin. Amain to viewers, to the lens. I acted like I hated it, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was just exhausting. Mahiru seemed to see right through me, though. She gave me that knowing, gentle smile that says, You actually had fun, didn't you? And I had to look away before I blushed. Lessons from the pros. As we ate, the hamburger steak was incredible, as always. I told her about the day. I realized something today, I muttered, scooping some rice. Those two, Itsuki and Katawaki, they're on a different level. We were walking through the mall after karaoke, and a group of college girls approached them. Did they? Mahiru's spatula paused for a fraction of a second. Yeah, they were both so smooth about it. Itsuki just mentioned Chitose and Katawaki. Man, the prince is a pro. He rejected them so politely they were smiling as they walked away. It was like watching a masterclass in popular person management. Did anyone approach you? Mahiru asked, her voice dropping a register. Me? No way. I was just the tag-along. I'm the dour guy in the background while the two handsome chaps do their thing. The pout and the mystery. Amain to viewers. Amain looks genuinely baffled. For some reason, that made her pout. Like a real, visible, I'm annoyed at you pout. What? Are you going to give me the self-confidence lecture again? I asked. That too, she huffed, turning back to the stove. But that is not the only issue I have. Then what is it? You do not have to know. Ita de kamasu. Amain to viewers, to the camera. She shut the conversation down and started eating. I'm officially confused. Is it a crime to be a tag-along now? The prince's verdict. Flashback. Scene shift. Back to the mall. Katawaki and Itsuki are walking slightly behind Amain. Say, Yuta, Itsuki asked, glancing at Katawaki. You fine with that? About Shina-san. Katawaki leaned back, looking at the sky with a bittersweet smile. There's no way I'm winning, Itsuki. I knew I had no chance the moment I saw her face when she was looking at Fujimiya. You're not jealous? I admire her, Katawaki said honestly. We're the same kind of people, troubled by the attention, hiding behind a smile. But she found someone she can truly be herself with. I'd rather cheer them on than interrupt that. Itsuki grinned. You're being meaninglessly cool again. Hey, I'm just being honest. I like her, but I don't need her. Besides, she doesn't have a single drop of interest in me. I'm more worried about them actually figuring it out. I just want those two to be happy. Back to reality. Amain to viewers. The camera pans back to Amain finishing his meal. Mahiru is still being a bit quiet, but the food is great and the atmosphere is warm. Katawaki might think I'm popular material and Mahiru might think I'm an idiot, but as long as I get to eat dinner like this, I think I can handle a few more torture sessions with the guys. Vlog status. Asterisk current mission. Survive Golden Week. Self-confidence meter. 15%, up from 5%. Next step. Washing the dishes, before Mahiru scolds me. Non-canon special April Fools 2026. The Angels, Catastrophe. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is sitting on his sofa, looking absolutely shell-shocked. He is staring at his own hand as if it's a foreign object. The apartment is quiet, but the air is thick with a level of embarrassment that could fuel a small city. Okay. Full disclosure. It's April 1st. I know what you're thinking. Amain, did Mahiru pull a prank on you? I wish. I really, really wish that's what this was. But what just happened defies every law of biology and common sense. The indoor mystery. It started normally enough. Mahiru came over to serve dinner, but she was wearing a baseball cap. Indoors. Why the hat, Mahiru? You usually hate anything that messes up your hair. She wouldn't look at me. She just mumbled something about a reason. I actually thought I'd stressed her out so much her hair was falling out. I apologized, but she sighed and finally took the cap off. Amain to viewers, to the lens, whispering they were triangular. They were fluffy. They were twitching. Real, honest-to-God cat ears, the same color as her hair. I thought I was hallucinating until I saw the capillaries in the earlobes. This wasn't a headband. This was a supernatural event. The condition for normalization. I found them growing on me this morning, she whispered, her face red with shame. And I have a feeling I'll only go back to normal if I am doted on. Doted on? Like a pet. She didn't answer. She just looked like a stray cat that had been caught in the rain. I felt this intense urge to pat her head, but I was terrified. Then I saw a ribbon on the shelf, one my mom used for gift wrapping. The instinct takes over. Amain to viewers. Amain covers his face with his hands. I'm a weak man. I took the ribbon and shook it in front of her. I thought she'd get mad. Instead, her eyes locked onto it. Her head followed the movement. Swish, swish, slap. Her little hand batted the ribbon away. I did it again. Amain Kuin, stop, she muttered, but her ears were twitching with excitement. Eventually, instinct won. She didn't just grab the ribbon. She pounced. She's tiny, but the momentum knocked me flat onto the sofa. The sofa incident. So there I was, pinned to the sofa by the school's angel, who now had a tail poking out of her pants, standing straight up like a flagpole. She was breathing heavily, her eyes sparkling with feline excitement. Naya. Amain to viewers, to the camera, deadpan. My sanity departed the building at that exact moment. She realized what she was doing and tried to struggle, but I had to hold her so she wouldn't fall off the sofa. The smell of her hair, the soft weight, it was a direct attack on my heart. Please, dote on me, she whispered into my chest. I have to know if it works. I can't stay like this. The immoral finale. I sat up, hugging her to me, and started patting her head. Her hair was like silk, and the ears, they were so warm and soft. I was gently rubbing them when she let out this tiny, sweet, funya sound. But then it happened. Mahiru grabbed my hand. She didn't push it away. She pulled my fingers to her mouth and she licked them. Amain to viewers, Amain is visibly sweating now. It wasn't rough like a cat's tongue. It was smooth. It was hot. It was incredibly immoral. I felt like I was committing a crime against nature and the school board simultaneously. Mahiru, I pushed her away. Our eyes met. Hers were hazy and confused, and then she realized. Awa. She bolted for the washroom, making a sound that was 100% kitten and 0% human. Back to normal. 10 minutes later, she came out. The ears were gone. The tail was gone. But the wariness? That was still there. She's currently sitting exactly 6 feet away from me, looking like a stray cat that's decided I'm a dangerous predator. Amain to viewers, staring into the distance. I still feel the heat on my fingertips. I think I'm going to be rolling around on my floor for the next 3 hours trying to forget/remember every second of that. Happy April Fools, I guess. Someone send help. Vlog status. * current condition. Mentally decimated. New trauma/core memory. The Naya heard round the world. Next step. Probably never being allowed to hold a ribbon again. Chapter 91. The Angel and the Rumors. Amain to viewers. Camera angle. Amain is sitting at a corner table in a brightly lit fast food joint. A tray of half-eaten fries and a condensation-covered soda sit between him and Itsuki. Amain looks like he's aged 5 years in a single school day. Golden Week is officially over. And apparently so is my peace and quiet. I walked into class today and it was like walking into a hornet's nest of gossip. The topic? The handsome mystery man, spotted with the angel at the mall. The date confirmation. I heard Shina-san went out on a date with a really handsome guy. The girls in class were whispering. Amain to viewers, to the lens, rubbing his temples. I expected to be spotted, but I didn't expect the interrogation to happen right in front of me. One girl actually had the guts to ask Mahiru head-on if she was dating. And Mahiru? She didn't deny it. Not exactly. I guess it was a date if we consider the definition of one, she said with that perfect, untouchable, angelic smile. Then she dropped the real bomb. We aren't dating, but he is the person most important to me. The classroom basically exploded. I spent the rest of the day hiding behind my textbook while my gut twisted into knots. Itsuki's analysis. To be honest, I don't think she could have denied it, Itsuki said, stealing one of my fries. Yuta already saw you too. You were holding hands, weren't you? Ugh. See? If people saw that, a flat denial would just make her look like a liar. By saying he's important, she keeps her dignity while shooing off other boys. It's a power move. It tells everyone she's off the market without actually starting a scandal. I see, I muttered. But why me? I'm not exactly popular guy material. That's your problem, Amain? Itsuki sighed, leaning back. You've got this habit of self-doubt rooted so deep it's like a forest. You're not the same guy you were in the past. You need to start acting like someone who deserves to stand next to her. The ghost of the past. Amain to viewers, Amain's expression goes flat. He stares at the salt on the tray. Itsuki asked me why I lack confidence. I didn't tell him the whole story. It's not that I was bullied. It's just that someone I once trusted completely told me I had zero value. That kind of thing doesn't just go away because you get a haircut. It lingers. Even with Mahiru around, that emptiness still stays in the corner of my heart. The aggressive advice. Anyway, Itsuki continued, oblivious to my internal drama. You need to be more aggressive. Close the distance. Aggressive? Like what? Push her down. Are you an idiot? No, but at least give her a hug. Kai told me you've been doing the head pat thing. Why stop there? Don't say the impossible, I barked. Amain to viewers, to the camera whispering. I didn't have the heart to tell him I have hugged her. But that was different. That was when she was falling apart, and I was just a pillar for her to lean on. Doing it lovingly? Taking the initiative? I'm 90% sure she'd despise me if I tried to cross that line without a reason. Kai said when they had a sleepover, They bathed together and shared a futon. Itsuki teased. If you're not careful, my girlfriend is going to snatch the angel away from you. Don't compare a female friend to me, I muttered, finishing my fries. Vlog status. Asterisk rumor level. Maximum. Self-confidence. Critically low. Itsuki's advice. Ignored, for my own safety. Current goal. Survive the walk home without being ambushed by gossip-hungry classmates. Chapter 92. The Angel and the Hug. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is sitting on his bed, staring blankly at the ceiling. The room is dark except for the glow of his phone. He looks like he's just seen a ghost. Or perhaps something much more dangerous to his heart. Okay, so, I did it. I actually did it. Itsuki told me to have some guts. And for some reason, my brain decided to short-circuit and follow that advice. I think I've officially crossed a line I can't uncross. The slip of the tongue. It started after dinner. We were sitting on the sofa, and I was trying to talk about, I don't know, school tests? Anything to hide the fact that I was dying to ask her something else. What is it, Amain-kun? She asked, tilting her head. Nothing. I'm just hopeless, I muttered. Why are you denying yourself again? She reached out and started patting my head. It was so gentle, so familial that all my defenses just melted. And that's when my filter broke. Can I hug you? Or something like that. Amain to viewers. Amain buries his face in his hands. I said it out loud. My sanity was screaming at me to shut up, but the words were already out there. I told her to pretend she didn't hear it, but she just looked at me with those clear eyes and said, No can do. The why matters. I'm not like this because I'm a boy and I'll take anyone, I said, trying to save some shred of my dignity. It's not like I want to touch just anyone. It's because it's you, Mahiru. Amain to viewers, to the lens. The second I said that, the room went silent. Her pale skin turned a faint, beautiful pink. I realized I'd basically confessed my preference for her in the most direct way possible. I was ready to bolt, but then she spoke. Shall we? The 30-second rule. I reached out, my hands shaking a little, and pulled her in. It was different from the time she cried. This time she was choosing to be there. She felt so small, so slender. Her shoulders were delicate, and she smelled like that sweet, faint fragrance she always carries. Amain-kun, she whispered into my chest. I heard that hugging for 30 seconds reduces a third of your day's stress. So if I hug you for 90 seconds, I'm stress-free? I do not know, but I feel like my stress from today is gone. All those questions people asked me at school, they don't matter now. The important person. I finally found the courage to ask about what she told the girls in class. The most important person? Did you mean that? She lifted her head, giving me a smile that was a little bit sad and a whole lot of honest. My world is very small, Amain-kun. I can count the people I like on one hand. And of them all, you are the closest. You told me I should be myself. So you should have more confidence too. Can I really? Of course. If you lack confidence, I will encourage you. I will embrace you. Is that all right? Total defeat. Amain to viewers, Amain sighs, a small smile finally tugging at his lips. I ended up burying my face in her shoulder. I wanted to be the one supporting her, but here she is, carrying me. It's pathetic, and it's wonderful, and I didn't want to let go. Has your stress vanished, Amain-kun? She asked. Just let me stay like this for a little longer. Yes, sure. Vlog status. Asterisk stress level, 0%. Heart rate, 200 BPM. Current status. Refusing to move from this spot for at least 90 seconds. Maybe 900. Chapter 93. A little step. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is hunched over his desk, the lens focusing on a notebook filled with impeccably organized notes, diagrams, and highlighted key terms. The scratching of his mechanical pencil is the only sound until a shadow falls over the page. Back to the grind. But this time it feels different. Usually I study just enough to keep my head above water. Today, I'm aiming for the stratosphere, or at least the top 10 of the year. The new Amain. Huh, you're actually serious this time, Amain, Itsuki said, leaning over my shoulder during the break. He looked like he'd just seen a ghost or worse, a scholar. Wow, you really put in the work. This summary is actually good. Just wanted to work a little harder, I muttered, not looking up. What's the occasion? Did the angel cast a studying buff on you? Nothing really. I just want to do something I can be proud of. Building the foundation. Amain to viewers, to the lens, looking tired but determined. Here's the truth. I don't know how to become a better man overnight. That's a vague goal. But I can control my grades. If I'm going to be the most important person to someone like Mahiru, I can't stay as the guy who barely tries. I need a win. I need something objective to point at and say, I did that. There's no way I'm beating Mahiru for first place. The girl is a literal genius, but the top 10? That's my target. It's the first brick in the wall of confidence I'm trying to build. The stealth strategy. So, why aren't you tidying your hair? Itsuki asked, gesturing to my usual messy bangs. You looked like a different person at the mall. Why hide it now? That's a different matter. I don't need to do that yet. Amain to viewers, whispering to the camera, translation. If I walk in here looking like the handsome mystery man from the rumors, the guys in this class will literally form a lynch mob. The important person comment Mahiru dropped has already caused enough of a seismic shift. Half the guys are depressed and the other half are playing detective. I'm staying in the shadows until I'm ready to stand in the light. The value of a friend. I just hope you finish your transformation soon. Itsuki grinned, slapping my back. I want to be able to brag to everyone that the coolest guy in school is my best friend. What's the point of that? I asked, feeling a bit flustered. If people have a high opinion of you, I'll be happy too, you know? Amain to viewers, Amain turns his face away from the camera, but his ears are slightly red. He's a total idiot, but he's a good friend. Having someone actually want you to succeed. It makes the late-night studying feel a lot less lonely. Itsuki just burst out laughing, definitely sensing that I was getting emotional. Shut up, Itsuki. Vlog status. Asterisk current goal. Top 10 in the midterms. Confidence level. 20%. Stable. Stealth level 100%. The bangs are staying down for now. Chapter 94. Reward for the tests. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is standing at the kitchen sink, sleeves rolled up, scrubbing a plate with focused intensity. The rhythmic swish of the sponge is the only sound until he speaks. Plans are in motion. Next Saturday, my apartment is transforming into a war room. Itsuki and Katawaki are coming over for a study marathon. Usually, I'd be wary of the noise, but I've got a goal now. And honestly, I think I'm going to need the backup. The study group proposal. Say, Mahiru, I started, rinsing a bowl. Itsuki and Katawaki are having a study group at my place next Saturday. You fine with that? Mahiru was busy packing leftovers into lunch boxes for my breakfast. She didn't even hesitate. I am fine. Shall I cook for everyone? I mean, thanks, but are you sure? That's a lot of extra work. It is just an increase in portion, she said simply, a small smile playing on her lips. May I join too? I had already planned to study with Chito-san that day. She's worried about her father scolding her if her grades drop again. Amain to viewers, to the lens, deadpan, so Itsuki didn't just suggest a study group out of the goodness of his heart. He knew Chitose was going to be here. That guy is a tactical genius when it comes to double dating under the guise of academic improvement. The valedictorian's secret. I guess it'll be a full house then, I noted, watching Mahiru move efficiently around the kitchen. You don't mind the noise? I study every day, Amain-kun. A little conversation won't distract me. Must be nice being a genius. Say, can I see your notes later? I want to see how the school's top student organizes her brain. There is nothing much to look forward to, she giggled, but she didn't say no. The ultimate motivation. Amain to viewers, Amain stops scrubbing and looks directly into the camera. He looks slightly dazed, like he's just been offered $1 million or a trip to Mars. And then, she dropped the motivation. Main Kuin, you are working so hard for these tests to build your confidence, Mahiru said, leaning against the counter. Shall I give you a little extra incentive? Incentive? If you manage to get into the top 10, I shall give you a lap pillow and clean your ears. You seemed to enjoy it last time. She looked down, a bit bashful. I do not know if that counts as a reward, though. If you do not want it, we can pass. I'll take your word for it, I blurted out before she could finish. The point of no return. Amain to viewers. Amain covers his face with a damp hand. I am a weak, honest man. A lap pillow? From the angel? While she cleans my ears. I'd study through a literal hurricane for that. It is a promise then, she smiled, her cheeks turning a soft pink. I'm disgusted with how easily I was swayed, but I've never been more motivated in my life. Top 10 isn't just a goal anymore. It's a necessity. Vlog status. Asterisk current objective. Rank 10 or higher. Motivation level. Over 9,000. Reward. Redacted by shame. Opening the math textbook and not closing it until my brain melts. Chapter 95. The Angel and the Study Group. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is standing in his hallway. The front door is open, and the usual quiet of his apartment is being steamrolled by the arrival of 3 very loud individuals. Itsuki, Chitose, and Katawaki have officially breached the perimeter. It's 10 a.m. on a Saturday, and my living room is about to become a battlefield of pens and paper. The newlywed welcoming. Pardon our intrusion, they shouted in unison. Oh, welcome, I muttered, stepped aside to let them in. Where's Mahiran? Chitose asked, already kicking off her shoes. She's in the kitchen, preparing lunch. Amain to viewers, to the lens, whispering, Mahiru got here early to start on the roast beef. She wanted it to set so it would be tender by noon. But the second I said, she's in the kitchen, Itsuki gave me that look. You know the one. She's so used to this, huh? Itsuki teased. Like a newlywed wife welcoming your colleagues. Honey, your friends are here. Shut up. I'm not letting you have breakfast if you say another word. New. I want Mahiran's cooking. Even Katawaki was staring at me, looking completely mystified. It's just, she really does naturally belong here, Fujimiya. The battle lines are drawn. Mahiru appeared from the kitchen, wiping her hands on her apron. Welcome, everyone. Please proceed to the living room. I have a few more things to prepare. Newlywed, Itsuki whispered as she turned back. I slapped him in the back. Hard. Once the tea was served, we sat down. Or rather, the other 3 engineered it so Mahiru sat right next to me. So, Mahiru said, opening her notebook. What do you not understand, Chitose-san? This is mathematics. Everything, Chitose said with a straight face. Everything? Mahiru's face actually twitched. Kai's bad at math, Itsuki explained, leaning back. Best she can do is pass. Applied problems are like a foreign language to her. The real work begins. Amain to viewers, Amain pans the camera over the table. Katawaki is already laser-focused on his notes. The guy is a machine. Itsuki is trying to look busy, and Mahiru is patiently breaking down formulas for a very confused-looking Chitose. She can handle the basics, I noted. She just doesn't know how to apply the formulas. Start from there, Mahiru. I will try my best, Mahiru sighed, looking like a saint dealing with a particularly difficult disciple. Anyway, Itsuki, I barked. Put in some effort. Stop laughing and study. Yuta Amain's so strict. It's about time you got serious, Katawaki added with a hearty, unforgiving smile. Amain to viewers, to the camera, watching Katawaki study is actually intimidating. He doesn't have a weak subject. Me? I'm solid, but I need to grind. I opened my world history textbook and blocked out the noise. If I'm gonna hit that top 10 and get my reward, I can't afford to be distracted by Itsuki's nonsense. Vlog status. Asterisk atmosphere. Productive chaos. Lunch menu. Roast beef. The smell is making it hard to focus. Current status. Memorizing the French Revolution while the angel teaches the alphabet of algebra. Chapter 96. Everyone's lunch. A main to viewers, camera angle. A main is in the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, methodically shredding lettuce into a massive glass bowl. In the background, the muffled sounds of Itsuki and Chitose arguing over a math problem can be heard, followed by the distinct thud of Chitose collapsing onto the floor in academic despair. 2 hours. That's how long the serious study session lasted before Chitose officially broke. It's past noon now, and the hunger is hitting the group like a freight train. The resurrection of Chitose. On board, Chitose groaned, rolling around on the carpet. I had to throw a sofa blanket over her lap just to keep things decent. It's past noon, I said, checking the clock. Time for a break. Lunch. Chitose bolted upright like she'd been electrocuted. What's on the menu, Mahiran? Roast beef, Mahiru called out from the kitchen. A main to viewers, to the lens. I mentioned wanting roast beef once, and she remembered. She even told me it was easier to prepare than I imagined. I'm pretty sure that's just her way of being humble, but I'm not complaining. The newlywed kitchen. I headed into the kitchen to help. I'll serve the plates, Mahiru. Please do, she smiled. As we worked, me cutting lettuce, her heating up the corn potage, I could hear the peanut gallery in the living room whispering. It's amazing how he instinctively knows what to do, I heard Itsuki whisper. Right? Chitose giggled. A main to viewers, sighing at the camera. I just ignored them. If I react, they win. We're preparing food for 5 people, and 3 of them are high school boys with bottomless pits for stomachs. Mahiru clearly accounted for that. The spread of vegetables and meat was massive. She really wants to make sure everyone is properly nourished. The verdict. We sat down, clapped our hands and dug in. Delish! Itsuki shouted, practically inhaling a slice of beef. It's really good, Shina-san, Katawaki added, eating with his usual prince-like composure. Thank you, Mahiru said, looking relieved. I didn't add much flavoring, so it's more about the ingredients than skill. Humble as always, Itsuki laughed. The bride bomb. The conversation shifted to the future. Katawaki mentioned how he was worried about living alone in college since he can't cook. There are some who can live alone without knowing how to cook, Mahiru said, glancing at me. You're talking about me, right? I asked. It's true. I really have to thank you every day, Mahiru. I am not blaming you, she stammered, her face turning pink. I do not dislike cooking for you, Amain-kun. You really are the type to work hard for others. Shina-san, Katawaki noted with a warm smile. You'll make a great bride. Silence. Be bride. Mahiru squeaked. Yu-chan's right. Chitose added, using her nickname for Katawaki. Mahiran doesn't even need bride training, though maybe I should train with her. If I wouldn't be a third wheel. Wheel? I asked. No, nothing. Chitose gave Mahiru a look that was practically glowing with mischief. Amain to viewers. Amain looks at Mahiru, who is currently staring at her rice like it's the most fascinating thing in the world. Her ears a deep shade of crimson. I don't know what Chitose is hinting at, but the atmosphere just got very heavy. I think I'll just focus on the roast beef. Meat doesn't make things awkward. Vlog status. * lunch rating. October 10th. Mahiru's blish meter. Maximum overdrive. Current objective. Finish eating before someone says wedding and Mahiru actually faints. Chapter 97. Study meat and rest. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is hunched over his desk, the frame tight on his notes. In the background, the soft glow of the TV reflects off the wall, and the frantic clicking of game controllers provides a rhythmic soundtrack to his studying. We've reached the wall. 2 hours of high-intensity math was enough to send Chitose into a total meltdown. She's currently rolling around on the floor, officially on strike. The great breakout. Amain, can we play games? Chitose groaned. Play all you want, I said, not lifting my eyes from my history book. But don't come crying to me when your grades tank. Oi, you're strict. I set up the console with 4 controllers. I'm not a monster. I know human concentration has its limits. If they need to blow off steam, fine. Itsuki was the first to cave, followed by even Katawaki, who seemed to need the mental reset. A main to viewers, to the lens. I, however, am staying put. I've got a top 10 goal to hit, and the only person still at the table with me is Mahiru. Seeing her so focused, it's a reminder of why she's number one. She doesn't just have talent. She has relentless discipline. It's actually pretty inspiring, and a little intimidating. The study buff coffee. I was deep into predicting the teacher's question patterns when a cup of coffee appeared by my hand. Mahiru had stood up without me even noticing. Amain-kun, please have some. It was exactly how I like it, the right amount of milk, 1 sugar cube. After half a year together, she knows my preferences better than I do. Thanks, Mahiru. And this? She added, placing a small saucer down. I baked some financiers yesterday. Studying uses up a lot of sugar, so I thought these might help. The sweetest reward. Amain to viewers. Amain picks up a small, golden brown cake with a fork. She'd thought of everything. She even brought a tray out to the gamers in the living room. Wah! Thanks, Mahiran. Chitosa's scream of joy nearly blew out my eardrums. Mahiru came back to the table and sat down next to me. I looked at her, feeling a bit guilty. I feel like I made you do way too much work today. No, she whispered, her voice soft enough that the others couldn't hear. I wanted to do this. I worked on these during my own breaks. Besides, I just want to work hard for those who are working hard. System overload, Amain to viewers. Amain takes a sudden, large gulp of coffee, his face turning a visible shade of red. That hit me like a physical blow. I had to wash that sentiment down with the coffee before I said something embarrassing. The weird thing? The coffee tasted way sweeter than usual. She hadn't changed the recipe, but it felt like I was drinking liquid sugar. I couldn't even look at her. I just stared at my textbook, pretending to read the same sentence for the 5th time while my heart did a sprint. Vlog status. Asterisk sugar levels, restored. Heart rate, fluctuating wildly. Current status, trying to look serious while my brain is 100% focused on the girl sitting next to me. Chapter 98. The Angel and the Devilish Smile. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is sitting on the floor of his living room, leaning against the sofa. The TV is off, and the apartment is suddenly, deafeningly quiet. His game controller is lying forgotten on the carpet. He looks like a man who just barely survived a natural disaster, or a supernatural one. The study group is over. Itsuki, Chitose, and Katawaki have headed home. But honestly, I stopped studying hours ago. My brain has been stuck on a loop, replaying those 10 words Mahiru said earlier. I just want to work hard for those who work hard. The good-for-nothing spiral. Does she mean she likes me? Or does she mean I'm so pathologically incapable of taking care of myself that she feels a moral obligation to intervene? Amain to viewers, to the lens sounding frantic, think about it. I can't cook. My nutrition was a disaster before she showed up. Maybe she's just working hard to keep me from developing scurvy. I want to believe it's the other thing, that she views me as a guy, but every time I go down that path I hit a wall of no way. It's Mahiru. She's an angel. I'm me. I was so distracted by this that I literally walked my character off a cliff in our game. Itsuki actually had to ask if I'd finally fried my brain with world history. The kick in the back advice. Before they left, I pulled Itsuki aside and, stupidly, asked him what I should do. His advice? Just ask her, you coward. Then he actually kicked me in the shin. So I did it. As soon as the door closed on the others, I turned to Mahiru. What did you mean by that? About working hard for me? The devil in the kitchen. Mahiru blinked. Then her lips curled into a smile I've never seen before. It wasn't the angel smile. It was something else. What do you think it means, Amain-kun? She asked. That you can't leave a rotten guy like me alone? Foo-foo. That is true. She stepped closer. I can't lose sight of you. You'd be a mess without me. Your health, your home. You are hopeless on your own, aren't you? I can't argue with that, I muttered, feeling like her captive. That is fine, you know? I like taking care of you. I'm making it so you can't live without me. The knockout blow. Amain to viewers. Amain is now bright red, hiding his face in his collar. And then she did it. She leaned in, not quite touching, but close enough that I could feel her warmth. She put her index finger over my lips to silence me. "I will make you a good-for-nothing," she whispered, her eyes narrowing with a playful, almost predatory glint. "So please, just go ahead and let me, okay?" Amain to viewers, to the camera, voice cracking. She was a total little devil. I forgot how to breathe. I've seen her be sweet. I've seen her be shy. But I've never seen her be alluring. My heart wasn't just pounding. It was trying to escape my ribcage. She just giggled at my frozen face and walked into the kitchen to start dinner like nothing happened. The aftermath. Amain to viewers, the camera pans slightly toward the kitchen, where Mahiru is currently crouched in a corner, hidden from Amain's view, clutching her own red face. I think I'm dead. I'm definitely dead. If this is her spoiling me rotten, I don't think I'm going to survive the midterms. Vlog status. Asterisk current condition. In a state of total cardiac arrest. Mahiru's evolution. Angel level 0/little devil level 100. Self-confidence. Irrelevant. I am officially her slave. Next step. Trying to eat dinner without staring at her finger. Chapter 99. Test results. Amain to viewers. Camera angle. Amain is standing in the crowded school hallway, a few feet back from the bulletin board. His eyes are fixed on a specific spot on the white paper. He looks exhausted, but there's a flicker of something new in his expression, relief, maybe even a tiny spark of pride. The results are in. I survived midterms. Actually, I did more than survive. I think I might have accidentally set a new personal record. The top 10 breakthrough. Say, Amain, you overdid it this time, didn't you? Itsuki muttered, looking at the rankings. I landed at 6th place. Amain to viewers, to the lens. I didn't think I could actually do it. Part of it was the top 10 goal I set for myself, but if I'm being honest, most of it was a desperate attempt to purge Mahiru's little devil smile from my brain. Every time I remembered her saying, "I'll make you a good-for-nothing," I had to solve 10 more calculus problems just to keep my heart from exploding. "You worked hard," Itsuki said, surprisingly serious. "Got some confidence now?" "More or less. I just have to maintain it now. I can't let her see my grades slip just because I got lazy." The angel's approval. Mahiru was there too, standing behind me. Naturally, she was first place. She looked at my name and gave me that perfect, beautiful, angelic smile. "You're 6th this time, Fujimiya-san. You've been working so hard, even during breaks." "Yeah, I guess. Since you worked so hard," she whispered, her eyes twinkling in a way that made my stomach flip. "You may give yourself some reward." Amain to viewers. Amain looks at the camera with wide, slightly panicked eyes. The reward. The lap pillow. The ear cleaning. I had tried to forget the promise just to stay sane during the test, but now that it's over, the reality is hitting me. How am I supposed to survive 90 seconds of that? The unknowable desire. That evening, back at the apartment, I watched Mahiru prep dinner. I realized that while I have a reward coming, she doesn't. "Mahiru, do you want anything as a reward?" "For getting first." She paused, looking truly shocked. "I do not have anything I want in particular. Maybe you can use the slicer on that cucumber?" "No, I mean something real. Anything you want me to do." She went quiet for a second. Then her lips formed that familiar, teasing arch. That little devil energy was back. "I am satisfied with the situation now," she said softly. "I do wish to fulfill my true desire on my own." "True desire? What do you think it is? Amain-kun?" The stalemate. Amain to viewers. Amain is back at the kitchen counter, aggressively slicing a cucumber. His face is a deep shade of red. I didn't ask again. I couldn't ask again. The way she looked at me, it was like she was waiting for me to figure it out, but enjoying the fact that I'm completely lost. "The status quo is fine," she says. "But the status quo involves her potentially turning me into a good-for-nothing while I'm lying on her lap later tonight." I'm starting to think the tests were the easy part. Vlog status. Asterisk rank. 6th. New high score. Reward status. Pending and terrifying. Mahiru's true desire. Unknown, but likely dangerous to my health. Next step. Slicing this cucumber into microscopic pieces, so I don't have to look her in the eye. Chapter 100. The Angel's Lap Pillow with Added Service. Amain to viewers, camera angle. Amain is sitting on the edge of his bed, staring intensely at a blank wall. His hair is slightly mussed, and his face is a shade of red that suggests a fever, but his eyes are clear and haunted. He speaks in a hushed, trembling whisper. It happened. The reward. The purgatory of bliss. I'm recording this now because if I don't document it, my brain might actually melt out of my ears. The invitation to Valhalla. After dinner, Mahiru didn't even hesitate. She sat on the sofa and patted her thighs. Now then, over here, Amain-kun. Amain to viewers, to the lens, hands shaking. It's May. It's warm. She was wearing shorts and black tights, the thin kind where you can actually see the skin tone underneath. And she smelled like, well, like Mahiru. Soap, shampoo, and something sweet. I tried to play it cool, but my survival instinct was screaming that my heart wasn't built for this level of stress. Help yourself, she said with that smile. We promised. Impact and obstacles. I lay down. Her thighs were even softer than the last time. Because the fabric was thinner, I could feel her body heat immediately. Amain to viewers. Amain covers his eyes with one hand. I tried to look up at her, but there were obstacles. The angle was direct, and because it's getting hotter, her clothes were thinner. Gravity is a powerful force, people. I had to look away immediately to avoid a total system collapse. The ear-cleaning ecstasy. Shall I start? She asked, grabbing the ear pick. She leaned over me, and something soft brushed against the side of my head. Silence on camera. I can't even describe the scream that happened inside my head. She didn't notice. She just pinned my head down gently. Please do not move. As she started digging, it was different. When you do it yourself, it's a chore. When she does it, it's a strange, ticklish ecstasy. She was so careful, so gentle. Does it hurt? She whispered. No. Feels good. I see. So you are a boy after all, Amain-kun. The gentleman trap. Look, I grumbled, staring at the side of the table to keep my sanity. Even if I act like a gentleman, my thoughts aren't always goody-goody. Guys are always waiting for the chance to attack. By your reasoning, she teased. You are not a man, Amain-kun. Amain to viewers, to the lens, offended. She basically called me a coward to my face while her fingers were in my hair. I had to turn around for the other ear, which meant I was now facing her belly. It was heaven. It was hell. I was shivering and she noticed, but I told her to mind her own business. The good-for-nothing transformation. Once the ear cleaning was over, she didn't let me get up. She started running her fingers through my hair. I'm really turning into a good-for-nothing, I groaned. It is rare to see you fawn around, she giggled. But I like touching your hair. It's smooth and glossy. That's just the shampoo my mom sent. I reached up and touched a strand of her hair. It was like silk. Yours is better. They say hair is a girl's life. Are you really okay with me touching it whenever I want? I like it to be touched by you, Amain-kun. The final verdict. Amain to viewers. Amain finally looks at the camera, leaning back against the wall. I closed my eyes after she said that. I couldn't let her see my face. It was a mix of shame, delight, and total defeat. She told me the other day she wanted to turn me into a good-for-nothing. Mission accomplished. If this becomes a daily thing, I'm never leaving this apartment. My heart is pounding so hard I can hear it in my teeth. Vlog status. Asterisk current condition. Mentally decimated but physically rejuvenated. Tights density. Critically low. Lethality of the angel. 10 out of 10. Next step. Trying to sleep without dreaming about lap pillows. Spoiler. I'm going to fail. Chapter 101. The Angel and the Bolster. Chapter 101. The Angel and the Bolster. A main to viewers, camera angle. A main is sitting on the floor of his living room, his back against the bed frame. He's staring at his hands, which are visibly trembling. His voice is a low, panicked rasps. I have made a terrible mistake. Or rather, Mahiru has made a mistake, and I am the one suffering the consequences. I went from the highest peak of a lap pillow to the deepest pit of a moral dilemma in the span of 2 hours. The 2-hour nap. I woke up and realized I was staring at Mahiru's shirt. I'd fallen asleep. Not for 5 minutes, for 2 hours. It was 11:00 p.m. Mahiru was leaning back against the sofa, sleeping just as soundly as I was. She must have been exhausted from the study group, the cooking, and then being my human pillow for 120 minutes straight without moving. A main to viewers, to the lens. She looked so defenseless. Too defenseless. I tried to wake her up, but she just made this tiny, sweet, sound and tilted further into my arms. I'm starting to think her angel title should be changed to World's Most Dangerous Sleeper. The bolster threat. I couldn't just leave her on the sofa, so I did what I did back at New Year's. I carried her to my bed. I told myself I was being a gentleman. I told myself I'd just wake her up once she was settled. Mahiru, wake up, I said, poking her cheek. Wake up and go home, or I'll use you as a bolster. A main to viewers. A main buries his face in his hands. It was a hollow threat. I'm a coward. I'd never actually do anything to make her hate me. But she didn't even open her eyes. She just rolled over, grabbed the blanket, and pulled me in. System collapse. She started wriggling like a caterpillar, seeking warmth, and finally buried her face directly into my chest. Long silence on camera. A main to viewers, whispering, "Why is she like this?" She's clinging to a guy's chest in his bed, completely oblivious. If my heartbeat was any louder, it would be a noise complaint. I told her I'd use her as a bolster, and she basically said, "Okay, sounds good," and fell back into dreamland. The wolf's compromise. I realized then that she really does trust me completely. Maybe too much. Or maybe, just maybe, she likes me as much as I hope she does. She didn't resist when I lay down next to her. She didn't move when I patted her head. "I warned you," I muttered. A main to viewers. A main looks at the camera, his expression a mix of guilt and sheer affection. I reached out. I wrapped my arms around her back and pulled her close. It was the most aggressive thing I've ever done, and it felt like I was stealing something precious. I leaned in and gave her a tiny, apprehensive kiss on the forehead. "I'll take this as lodging and tuition fees," I whispered to the sleeping girl. "I'm an idiot. She's an idiot. And if I survive until morning without my heart stopping, it'll be a miracle." Vlog status. * current location. The danger zone, my bed. Mahiru's status. Sleeping like a kitten. A main status. Powerless against the kitten. Next step. Trying to close my eyes without screaming. Chapter 102. The next morning. A main to viewers, camera angle. A main is standing in his bathroom, leaning heavily against the sink. Water is dripping from his face, and his hair is a mess. He looks like he's just run a marathon through a minefield. He looks into the mirror, points at his own reflection, and shakes his head. I am a degenerate, a weak-willed, desire-driven degenerate. I woke up this morning and realized that a main the gentleman died sometime around midnight, replaced by a main the human bolster. The morning realization. I woke up feeling a warmth next to me that definitely shouldn't have been there. It's May, but the mornings are still chilly, so instinctively, I hugged it. I clung to that warmth. And when I opened my eyes, a main to viewers, to the lens whispering, it was her, Mahiru, sleeping right there in my arms, looking so innocent and sacred that I almost screamed. My heart was a drum set being played by a caffeinated toddler. I realized then that I'd actually used her as a bolster. I kissed her forehead. I crossed every line I promised myself I wouldn't. The Kumasan incident. I tried to stay still, but then she started to wake up. She muttered something about a Kumasan, Mr. Bear, and clung to me even tighter. Long pause. A main to viewers. Amain slams his palm against his forehead. Certain, soft pressures were involved. My sanity hit 0%. I practically teleported off the bed, scrambled to the corner of the room, and started slamming my head against the wall to purge the thoughts. "Amain Kuan?" she asked, her voice all sweet and groggy. "What are you doing?" Hitting my head. I'm ashamed of myself. The confrontation. She ended up wrapping her arms around my waist from behind to stop me from denting the drywall. It was torture. "Mahiru-san," I groaned. "Do you realize we just shared a bed? Don't you have any thoughts about that? I'm a guy. What if I'd done something?" She went quiet, then slammed her own head into my back in embarrassment. "Amain Kuan, you said you would only do things when I agreed to them. Look, I might lose my sanity. You're too defenseless." The trust trap. Then she said something that stopped my heart. She looked me right in the eye, looking hurt. "Do you think I would sleep carelessly in anyone's house? I trust you, Amain Kuan. I will only sleep before you." Amain to viewers. Amain looks at the camera, his face turning that familiar deep red. How am I supposed to argue with that? She basically told me I'm special, that she wants to be careless around me. It was practically a confession wrapped in a safety net. But I couldn't let it slide. She needs to understand that trust doesn't turn off a guy's biology. The predator's lesson. I decided she needed a reality check. I pushed her back down onto the bed gently but firmly. Her flaxen hair spread across the sheets like water. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and the most dangerous. "I'm just an ordinary guy, Mahiru. I have desires. I'm just good at hiding them so you don't get hurt. But if you tease me too much..." I leaned in until we were sharing the same breath. "Who knows what I'll do next time?" Amain to viewers. Amain shudders. She looked like a rabbit caught by a predator. Shivering, blushing, eyes squeezed shut. I felt like a bully, but she had to know. I got up, told her to wash her face, and whispered one last warning in her ear before bolted for the bathroom. Vlog status. * current condition. Overheated. Relationship status. Trusting, but highly combustible. Lessons learned. I am not as safe as she thinks I am. Next step. Dunking my entire head in ice water.